Okay, hi kids, it's Mrs. Wolf. Your teacher, Miss Thomas, asked me to talk to you today about Palm Sunday and the rest of Holy Week that leads up to Easter. So I am going to try to do that as quickly as I can because there's so much that happens, and I really highly recommend that if you can, Palm Sunday and Easter are days of obligation for us to go to Mass, but the days of Thursday, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Holy Saturday are days of Holy Week that are good for us to go to because it really helps us to break down, each day of what happens to Jesus as he goes to the cross and then his triumphant day of resurrection on Easter morning. It just gives us a better glimpse of what happens through the week. It touches our hearts a little bit more deeply and fully if we attend. So parents, I highly recommend, especially with us being home right now, tune into the diocese or to your church. I believe St. Pius will have some recordings as well on YouTube. So please do that with your family if you have time. It's just a really great way to experience Easter. Helps us to fully appreciate that day so much more and understand what Jesus did for us. So we are beginning the week with Palm Sunday. And on Palm Sunday, it's this triumphant entry of Jesus, who comes into Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is the high holy city of the Jews. And on that day, they're laying palm leaves down. So they're all saying, Hosanna in the highest. They're treating him like a king. Even though Jesus rides in on a donkey, they're treating him like this king, this with all this love and joy and excitement of the same way they would treat a king. So I have a picture, a friend of mine, she's an artist, and she drew these wonderful pictures for me back in my other church, and I want to show this to you. And I'm going to try to scan it and give it to Miss Thomas so she can give it to you as well. They're like coloring pages, but this is Jesus' triumphant entry. Can you see? He's on the donkey. Look at all the people. They're waving their palm branches at him. They're laying it down on the floor, on the road ahead of him. Can you see this picture? And I just love, can you see their faces? And here's the donkey. She loved animals, so she always drew animals very beautifully. But there's Jesus, and he's coming in on Palm Sunday riding the donkey. And they're all saying, Hosanna in the highest. So when you go to Mass, they will give you a palm as you walk in, and those palms are blessed. So please don't throw them into the trash. Realize that they've been blessed with holy water by the priest. So we need to treat them in a different way than we would any kind of plant that we would see. So if for some reason they dry up and you want to get rid of them, burn them. But they shouldn't be, or you can bury it, but they shouldn't be thrown into the trash can. That's just something to keep in mind. And some churches actually will take the dried palms and they will dry them, and then they'll, can't think of the right word, they grind them up, and then they use them for the ashes on Ash Wednesday. So important to know about your palms. Please don't throw them away in the trash can. You can burn them, or you can donate them to a church that actually burns them and holds on to them for next year's Ash Wednesday. So here's Jesus riding in, and everyone's singing and clapping and praising him.